The air in the imperial palace was thick with the scent of lilies and the cloying heavy weight of unearned holy power. Despite the public humiliation of the social church incident where Sael had exposed Klee's distortions, using a fake lie detector magic tool, the rumors regarding the Asbel family continued to fester like a wound. The Crown Prince and the Mage Tower Lord, still blinded by their devotion to Klee, worked tirelessly to frame Eran as a man trapped by Sael's wickedness. Realizing that kindness and social etiquette were useless against those who had already decided they were the heroes, Eran decided to adopt a bad way. He began to move through the shadows of the capital, no longer acting like the perfect, patient fiancé, but like a man who had finally embraced the darkness the world insisted he carried. If they want a villain, I'll give them a monster they can't even begin to understand, Eran thought as he prepared for his next operation. One evening, after slipping away from the Asbel mansion using camouflage magic, Eran found himself in a place no noble of his standing should ever be. A smoke-filled, subterranean gambling den known for catering to the most corrupt elements of the aristocracy. He wasn't there to gamble for gold. He was there to bait the Crown Prince's faction into a trap. He intentionally played the hukou, the sucker losing hand after hand with a bored, arrogant expression that practically begged for someone to take advantage of him. However, the rehabilitation of Sael had worked too well. She had become so attuned to Eran's mana that even camouflage magic could not hide him for long. Sael burst into the gambling house like a storm of frost, her light blue hair swirling and her sky-blue eyes burning with a mixture of fury and genuine worry. "Eran Boslet!" Her voice rang out, cold enough to shatter the wine glasses on the tables. "What on earth are you doing in a place that smells of tobacco and desperation?" Eran didn't even look up from his cards. "I'm winning, Shael. You're acting like a hukou," she hissed, grabbing him by the collar. "Everyone in this room is laughing at you behind their hands. You're being a sucker for people who aren't even worth your spit. Do you have any idea how much effort I've put into making sure the Baslet family doesn't go bankrupt because of your squid-like common sense? I thought you liked it when I was a villain," Eran teased, a dark smirk tugging at his lips. "A villain ruins others. He doesn't let himself be ruined," Sael snapped. To the shock of the gamblers, she sat down at the table herself. "If you're going to be a sucker, you'll be my sucker. Out of the way, squid. I'll show you how a real wicked woman plays a hand." What followed was a ruthless display of the Hukou 2 strategy. Sael used her overwhelming mana to subtly freeze the luck of the other players, while Eran used the opportunity to observe the terrified reactions of the nobles present. It was a crazy scene, the most feared woman in the Empire and her corrupted fiancé dominating a black market poker game. When they finally left, they had not only taken the gold, but also the secrets of those who were funneling holy power to Klee. The adrenaline of the gambling den eventually gave way to a moment of raw, unmasked vulnerability. Back at the mansion, under the silver light of a full moon, the two found themselves drunk, not just on the expensive wine they had shared to celebrate their villainy, but on the sheer weight of their shared destiny. Sael, her face flushed a deep, beautiful crimson, leaned against Eran's shoulder. The bickering had stopped, replaced by the heavy, rhythmic thrumming of her heart. "Why do you do it, Eran?" she whispered, her voice uncharacteristically small. "Why do you play the villain for me? You could have been the hero. You could have been the one the saint loved." Eran looked at her, his dark blue eyes reflecting the starlight. "Heroism is boring, Shael. It's a script written by someone who doesn't know you. I'd rather be the man who burns the world down just to see you smile." I hate you," she muttered. Though she gripped his hand so tightly her knuckles turned white. "I hate you for making me feel like I'm no longer a monster. I hate you for making me worry about whether you're cold or whether you're hungry." In that drunken silence, Eran realized that the wicked woman had been fully rehabilitated into something far more dangerous. A woman in love. He reached into his coat and produced a gift, a protective gear that gives love. It was a pair of intricately carved silver earrings, enchanted with preservation magic, and a defensive shield that resonated with his own mana. "Consider this a contract," Eran said as he fastened them to her ears. "As long as you wear these, my magic will always find you. You are the only treasure I am determined to protect. The tenderness of the night was a brief respite before the imperial feast. The festival was the grand stage where Klee and the Crown Prince intended to make their final move. They planned a blessing that was secretly a mana dissolution ritual, intended to force Sael's mana to go berserk in front of the Emperor and the commoners. At the height of the festival, amidst the golden light and the cheering crowds, Klee stepped forward, her holy power exuding an unexplained disgust in Iran's eyes. She raised her hands to purify the Ice Duchess, her smile a mask of predatory sweetness. "Let the light reveal the truth within the darkness," Klee cried out. But Aaron was ready. He didn't just stop the spell, he reversed it. He utilized the success of a villain strategy, feeding his own dark mana into the ritual to turn the blessing into a cage. The golden light turned into a bruised, violent indigo. The holy power began to drain the life from the mages of the tower instead of hurting Sael. The crowd gasped as Sael stood tall, the silver earrings Aaron had given her glowing with a fierce, protective light. She didn't look like a monster. She looked like a queen. "Your light is a lie, Klee," Sael's voice echoed throughout the imperial square. "You call this a miracle? It's nothing more than a thief's magic, stealing mana from the people to fuel your own vanity." In the ensuing chaos, Klee's facade finally shattered. The saint, who had returned to this life out of a mad, hatred for Aaron and Sael was exposed as the true source of the Empire's distortions. As the Imperial Festival reached its chaotic end, Aaron stood by Sael's side, finally accepting the title he had fought against for so long. Villain. He realized that to give Sael the happiness she deserved, he would always have to be the shadow that blocked the world's glare. "Are you satisfied, Sael?" Aaron asked as they watched the festival fireworks from the palace balcony. "Not yet," she replied, her face blushing as she reached out to straighten his collar. "You still have a debt of 2,000 kisses to pay back, moneylender. And I don't intend to let you die until the last one is collected." Aaron laughed, pulling the rehabilitated Villainess into his arms. The story of the original novel was dead, and in its place, a new genre was being born. One where the wicked woman and the villainous fiancé were the only ones who truly lived happily ever after.